Minister, Mayors and special guests, it's a real pleasure to be speaking here at the Regional Summit, and I'm delighted to share with you and profile some of the great work done by our team and our collaborative partners in unlocking economic growth through a local workforce. It's a great topic to be engaged with in terms of industry engagement, because this is absolutely what the RDAs do across the state. We are commonly referred to sometimes as the grease and the glue. And this example is going to give you a great case study on where we've been the glue and we've stuck people together, including industry, and where we're also the grease, where we overcome barriers to make an outcome and a difference in a local sense. So it's with great pleasure that on behalf of the RDAs I can present this pilot program. And the Minister talked to us earlier this morning about having the courage to do something different, because that's required from a regional perspective if we're absolutely going to get the best that we can for regions in South Australia. So the opportunity I have to talk to you this morning is about the Jobs for Murraylands program. The Murraylands Food Alliance are food producers and processors, and combined that business is worth over $1.1 billion to our economy in this state and employs more than 3,300 people. Those 11 producers range from the big to the small, from family-owned businesses to more corporate structures, but they are the heart and soul of our food industry in the Murraylands. Those businesses told us that they could actually expand their workforce by 20 to 30% if they were able to recruit a sustainable local workforce. But they identified that there were lack of skills in motivation and training, and there were significant barriers to them being able to expand. Now, with an average unemployment rate in our region of over 8.5%, it seemed like something of a conundrum where you had big businesses able to actually increase their employment, but a high level of unemployed. So this was a wonderful opportunity for the RDA and our MFA partners to absolutely collaboratively work together on a pre-employment program, which was specifically tailored to both the needs of local employers, but also the challenges that were faced by the local unemployed people. And so the one piece I want you to take away is this is a tailored response, absolutely perfect for this opportunity. So, with a partnership with the Department of State Development and their Skills and Employment Directorate, we piloted this program. And the RDA was the lead organisation in being able to deliver the program, but we worked very strongly with job active providers and various RTO partners in the region to be able to deliver these outcomes. There were 4 planks of the program: accredited training, non-accredited training, case management and intensive one-on-one work, and finally also a gym program which ensured there was physical fitness of employees. Firstly, the accredited training was absolutely a response from the employers in the region. What did their training needs analysis say that we needed? For the MFA employers, this included white card, forklift training, food hygiene, food safety, manual handling and senior first aid. So all programs that accredited training was required. Now this is actually quite interesting and a great success to the participants who went through this program when you consider that more than 50% of the participants had never achieved more than Year 9 and Year 10 levels of education. So the participants that went through these programs were able to achieve accredited training outcomes. And you can imagine how pumped they were to be able to achieve those outcomes, because sometimes this is the first time in their lives they've ever been able to do that. The non-accredited training was significant also, and it was very much tailored to the employer and participant needs to meet some of those soft skill gaps and addresses. And that was a critical part to the program as well, to give participants the confidence and motivation to transition into work, addressing their individual needs, personal commitment, resilience, and attitude towards themselves and others. These non-accredited components included key communication skills, teamwork, workplace expectations, resume drafting, and interview techniques, all ever so important about having resilience and pride in yourselves. We had case management and intensive one-on-one group and individual mentoring to make sure that we overcame any of the employees or participants' barriers and improved their attitudes to work on a more individualised level before they even got on the ground, before they even got through the door. Why is that? We know that when an employee starts, if they stay for 6 months, they will stay for 2 years. And so it's really important that we help people transition into work, but we stick by them. As we all know, work, and everyone in today's society, can either have a good day or a bad day, but it's not the beginning of the end. So we needed to be able to work with them individually to make sure that we could keep them sustainably in jobs. And I also mentioned the fourth part was providing participants with a gym program that included physical rehabilitation assessments and personalised training plans to heal any existing injuries, but also to physically prepare people for the workplace demands of being in labour-intensive jobs. If you've been unemployed for a period of time, having to get up and be physically active for a 7 to 8 to 10 hour day is a challenge. So making sure that you're fit for the challenge is absolutely critical, which is why some of this tailored response has been so successful. So what have been the outcomes? Well, it's been a pilot program, but it has absolutely surpassed its ambitious employment target of 60%, and a lot of these people have been long-term unemployed. Over 50 participants have taken part, and already 32 people have paid employment in the regional food industry. And we expect a further 15 to have jobs by the time they graduate the second program at the end of next week. During our program, we also halved the dropout rate, which is often experienced in these sort of programs when you're working with people who have been unemployed for a significant period of time. So one of the unintended consequences of the program is more people stuck with it than our forecasts. And so we had to scale up our resources because we didn't quite expect that. But it's a lovely unintended consequence to have. Due to our focus on resilience, 90% of the workers have successfully kept their jobs. This is absolutely critical in an industry where non-productive recruitment costs more than $20 million per annum in our region. The program also contributed some significant shifts in stigma in the Murraylands. Firstly, the reputation in our region of unemployed people not wanting to work, but our graduates told us they wanted to get a job and stick to it. Overcoming recruitment bias against unemployed people was one of the challenges, and some employers had to significantly shift their own perceptions about the potential of people who'd been out of the workforce for a long time. There's also many preconceptions about working in the food industry that prevents people from even applying. Our collaborative approach helped to demystify the industry. So what are some of the key success factors that we took out of this pilot program? Well, firstly, it's the commitment of industry. The MFA member businesses and other employers' partners. They committed to considering program graduates when to next recruit. They helped design the program. They identified their workforce training needs. They provided workplace tours so participants had a really clear idea of what the jobs they were going to get into and also the recruitment process. The visible presence of employers helped participants to see that they were being taken seriously. They weren't just training for training's sake, but there was a genuine job at the end of this if they stayed committed and motivated. And it wasn't just doing a tick in the box for their Centrelink work plans. There was absolutely a focus on attitude, confidence, personal development and physical capability, as well as the formal skills and qualifications, and we believe that combination of both was absolutely critical. And also one of the other pieces was successfully gaining approved activity status of the program for the Australian Government. This meant that attending the program counts as a mutual obligation requirement on a Centrelink job plan. So participants didn't have to keep applying for jobs or work for the dole during the program that they were going under, which meant that there wasn't competing KPIs. Participants were fully committed to going through the program and getting a job at the end of it. And I think that's the importance of the program learning, is having flexibility, but able to overcome barriers and resolve them as the program went along. So the feedback from our program participants, graduates, employers really tell the story best. Projects changed my whole way of thinking. It's allowed me to grow in confidence and feel positively about life again. The collaboration has provided employees ready to work, trained, enthusiastic and motivated. And I can't believe this has all happened so quickly. I'm very grateful to be back in an industry that I really enjoy to achieve my employment goal. We're really thrilled with the success of the Jobs for Murraylands project and look forward to continuing to roll out the program as a potential for realising the absolute talent that sits there. I absolutely want to thank all of the partners who have been involved in this program because they've worked very, very hard to get the program to work as a pilot. And I'll leave you with just a little story. I walked into our kitchen about 2 weeks ago and there was a lady who graduated from our first program and she had significant employment challenges. She hadn't worked in 7 years. She was sitting there reading our paper. I said, "Hi, how are you?" She said, "Yeah, great to see you." I said, "How's work?" "Going fantastically. I love working where I'm working. It's sensational." I said, "What are you doing here?" "Well, you won't believe it. My partner, I badgered him so much that he's actually on the program now because he was unemployed. And he's sitting next door and he's having his first interview that he's ever had." The outcome of the story is he didn't get the job, but we're pretty confident that he will. The lady who I was talking to in the kitchen, her employer says that she has been an amazing addition to their team and they're considering her as a supervisor going forward. She's the only female in an all-male crew and they couldn't be pleased to have her because of her maturity and her sense of pride and resilience. So I suppose I'll leave you with those little stories that I totally believe that small ripples of change lead to great things in the future.